the games finally count 1 week after a preseason, which I think the NFL should take note from high school football and just have 1 week of preseason because it gets the regular season here much quicker. I'm Zach Davis.
There's a lot less people that get hurt.
Yeah, well, not a lot of people got hurt last week in the preseason. We saw some good games, and now the News-Journal is going to have you covered for all the Week 1 action, and there's a lot of good games, I think, and I think you'd agree. Namely, the best game's going to be out in West Volusia, where all of a sudden a DeLand Mainland game for the first time in quite a while is probably going to mean something.
It sure is. I mean, you look at DeLand, this is their game. This is a date they've circled on their calendar. I went out the first week of camp, and Avante Williams, who's one of their best players, declared that we are the best team in Volusia County, no questions asked. This will be their opportunity to prove
Bold.
that. Yeah, this will be their opportunity to prove it. If they beat Mainland, they can certainly lay claim to that title for at least a week. They've not beaten they've not beaten Mainland in the last 6 tries. Mainland comes into this game off of a loss to Apopka in the Kickoff Classic. A very tough, very rugged, frustrating Apopka team to play. I don't necessarily think that game should be looked at as a detractor going into this game. Mainland will feel confident. They've beaten DeLand. They've handled DeLand. There's going to be a lot of emotion in this game. It's going to be really interesting. A lot of these guys played for the other team at some point. You look at Damaris Bellamy, Teron Keith, a few other guys on those rosters. Even Avante Williams.
Avante Williams had a quick pit stop at Mainland.
Yeah, he was at Mainland for a summer. So, I mean, it's going to be a very entertaining game. And I really think it's going to be a close game, too. I think both these teams have firepower. Both these teams have guys that are going to be playing on Saturdays real soon, too.
I think we both picked Mainland.
Field goal, yeah.
And I think what I'm waiting on is because I remember 2 years ago we really got high on the DeLand bandwagon, and then it didn't even get going.
Yeah.
So I need to see. I don't need to necessarily see DeLand win, but I need to see him be competitive. And obviously last week you saw him beat up on a university team that's probably taking a step back this year. But yeah, I don't need to see him win. I need to see him stay competitive. And from what I saw last week, I don't think there's any reason they shouldn't.
Yeah, offensively they looked explosive. I mean, they had guys in Damian Nelson who really had a big game. You mentioned Williams, who had a reverse for a touchdown. Bellamy had 91 yards on the ground and a touchdown. And you've still got Deontay Marks in a Florida commit as a wide receiver who can single-handedly change a game, take one play the distance with his speed. So, yeah, DeLand, victory is certainly what they're going to be shooting for here. They want to make a statement. They want to say, yeah, we are for real. This is a team that, yes, the hype is justified.
Right.
I really want to see the battle in the trenches because I don't know what their answer for Kevon McCrary and those guys up front is going to be just yet.
It's going to be a fun game. You're going to be at that one. I'm going to be back here. That was a West Volusia. This is going to be an East Volusia showdown between Seabreeze and Spruce Creek. What do you see here? I mean, Spruce Creek coming off a pretty bad performance. Seabreeze not quite as bad, but obviously they weren't playing a team like Spruce Creek was in Seminole. So Spruce Creek, Seabreeze, this game was a drubbing last year. Do we think Seabreeze can close it a little bit this year?
They need to clean up a lot of the things. Troy Cope was very dissatisfied with the way they finished that game. They were winning 3-0. They had a bad punt snap that really kind of unraveled things, and we wasn't happy with their response. So they've had 8 days to think it over. I do think they're going to be a bit more focused to come out on that game. It's another rivalry that's really kind of gone one way for a handful of years. Spruce Creek's won 4 straight matchups in this series. They have, to me, the 2 best players on the field, and Marvin Scott in the backfield, Hayden Flood at wide receiver. They've got about half their defense back from last year, a very talented secondary that includes Deshari Keith and Trayvon Killens and Terrence McMillan. It's a very solid team. It may be tough sledding in their district when we get to it. We'll see how it starts off. But Seabreeze is going to be in for a very tall task, I think, in this game.
Leaving Volusia, heading north to
the Potato Bowl.
The Potato Bowl, which another rivalry, which unfortunately I think it lacks the luster it had last year when it was probably at its peak.
Last 2 years, I would say for sure.
Matanzas, obviously in a rebuilding mode. FPC is more than built. I think we've seen that. So FPC goes into Matanzas, into the pirate ship. Godwin's going to be there. What do we see from that one?
Well, I want to see Flagler. They know this game means everything to Matanzas. And Matanzas has made no bones about it. This has been a game that they want to win. This is a game that may single-handedly make or break their season in some respects. And I talked to Don Matthews about it. He says, it may sound kind of ridiculous to say that, but some of these kids feel that way. It's a small county. It's a small community. Everything kind of rides the line on this game. For Flagler, I mean, it's just about focus. I mean, you've got a flex bone offense that is confusing, that is assignment football. It's maybe not built exactly to the strength of what their defense does best in getting after a quarterback and taking the ball away. But certainly they're going to want to come downhill and make some plays against this running attack. It's going to be an interesting showdown. It's going to be a great atmosphere. There's no better
beat the atmosphere.
There's no better atmosphere that I've been around the last couple of years than Palm Coast in this rivalry. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great time for everybody out there, but I do think Flagler has a sizable advantage.
Yeah, I agree. Two other local games, or bigger local games out in West Volusia, Deltona University. Another rivalry that's kind of lost its luster, and then obviously in New Smyrna, John Wilkinson making his regular season debut after a nice preseason win last week. What do you see on those two games?
Well, again, for Deltona, it's about snapping an ugly streak. They're 0-7 all time against University. They don't have to tackle Lorenzo Lingard this year, which is a blessing, I'm sure. No. They've got three backs that can really hurt you. I think you've got Josh Ramirez, who was at University in the spring. You've got Isaiah Gordon, a very talented freshman. You've got Gio Reyes, more of your downhill kind of thumper. So they're going to pose some problems, I think. If they can run the ball against University, and they really struggled defensively last week, it could be a game. I think this is a type of year where Deltona can really give University a fight. The numbers have always favored University in terms of just personnel, and I do think they have the edge, especially up front. But I think it's going to be a really competitive game. Yeah. And you mentioned New Smyrna. That's the atmosphere I'm really interested to see. It's a very excited community. They're hyped about John Wilkinson being there. They're hyped about scoring 42 points against Mount Dora last week. They like what they have, and they think they've got playoff ambitions this year. Everglades Prep will be a good test. It's a team that made the playoffs last year in 3A, and they got housed by Cocoa last year. Wilkinson coached Cocoa last year. They beat them, I think it was 56-0. So they'll certainly have Everglades scouted.
Yeah, New Smyrna, a lot like DeLand. You just need to see him show you something here once we get into the season, because that's another team that we keep waiting and keep hoping, and then they kind of falter down the stretch. So.
You want to see them handle adversity. I think that's the one thing
Wilkinson, they did not do well last year.
Yeah, Wilkinson wants them to be a team that does two things well. He wants to run the football, and he wants to protect the football. If they do those two things well, handle the tough moments, they're going to be. They have as much talent as just about anybody around here.
Did you pick New Smyrna?
I did.
So we have every single pick the exact same this week. I started 11-0 last year, so let's just hashtag never forget. 11-0. That should it's a record. Literally, it's a record. So I'm Zach Dean. This is Chris Boyle. Week one's upon us. He's going to be at the DeLand Mainland game. I'll be at the Creek Seabreeze game. Godwin Kelly's going to be at the Potato Bowl. Should be a fun first week. Hopefully the first of many here in Volusia Flagler County. We'll see you tomorrow night.